Yo, what's going on?
The
Back
Pew.
Man, we got so much to talk about this week.
You know,
We can unpack like these conversations. You can see a pedicure.
You would do.
Depends on his feet.
That could be my own shit.
what's up? What's up, Tam? We in person. We not Back Pew Conversations. What's going on? This
The Tim and Tam talk. He be doing this stuff on purpose. New here. Go ahead and click that follow, subscribe button. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We everywhere.
Yo, we everywhere. Like literally, we everywhere. Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday here on, what is it, January 16th already? Jeez, we are already in halfway through January. Want to welcome you to the Back Pew Podcast. My name is Tim.
And it's your girl, your co-host, Tam. What's up, Tim?
What's up, Tam? How you doing? Good to see you, sis.
Good to see you, too. So excited to get into these conversations, these topics today. I'm a little nervous because I don't really know everything that's going on, but let's get into it.
Hey, let's get into it. Well, we definitely thank you guys for joining us here on Tuesday night. I'm telling you, we are super excited. As always, join the conversation below. Please comment. We love to make it interactive for you guys every Tuesday night here, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. So get your popcorn, get your favorite adult beverage or non-alcoholic beverage, whichever one is good for you. And just come kick it with your boy Tim and your girl Tam. Let's get it. That's what you drinking tonight is
Listen, I need wings tonight. I need some wings.
Well, we definitely gonna get into it with your Red Bull because I'm gonna be up after night too. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Make sure you guys share the podcast with your friends so you can join the conversation and they can as well. So click follow, subscribe, all the likes because as we said in the intro, we are everywhere. All right, Tam, let's get it popping. What we starting with first?
So it looks like we're going to start a little heavy. So the topic was, what was your first loss and how did you recover from it? I really want to know from you being a man what you're going to say about this particular topic. So Tim, what was your first loss and how did you recover from it?
My first loss. And how did you recover from my first loss? Does it have to be relationship or does it mean like what exactly?
Yeah,
Any
whatever.
loss? Losing my grandmother was pretty tough. That was probably the biggest first loss I ever encountered. I was 16. It was back in 2002. I was just as close to my grandmother as I am my mother. And just losing my grandmother, it felt like my world was shattered. And in addition to the rest of my family, because she was the matriarch of the family, she really took care of us. She showed us the way. The love she showed is part of the reason why I have such a loving and giving heart today is because of just the example that she carried for myself and for my mom, my aunts and uncles and everybody and our cousins and stuff. So that was probably the biggest loss. I mean, I really felt like my world is shattered at that point, but definitely recovered from it, missed it like crazy. And I think I just said the way that I recovered definitely is talking to somebody. I did even talk to somebody then when I was 16, but really just maintaining the legacy that she carried before us. And I think that was the motivation to help me recover, so that's really it for me. How about you?
Yeah, I would say my first loss, I think a lot of people are going to relate to this. My first loss was just losing myself, losing my own identity. When I was younger, I was very insecure. I had jacked up teeth. I was the only girl, so I was the tomboy. So everybody used to be like, is she gay? Is she not gay? Like, she showed like to play a lot of sports, So people always had their own perspectives of who I was. And because of that, I didn't really know who I was. Like, I didn't know if I was pretty. I didn't know where I fit in a lot. I just felt like the oddball. But I knew like, okay, when I get older, I want to be this version of myself. But I have to realize through time, like age doesn't give you identity. Like you just have to know for sure who you are and be affirmed in that. And when I would speak to like people that I looked up to, they would always give me the identity that Christ gave me, right? They would give me that identity, but I never quite felt like I was any of those things because I heard all of the chatter, all of the voices, all of the everything, right? And so the first loss I had was just me. Who is Tam? I didn't know, and I didn't know for a long time, even into, adulthood, even into marriage. I didn't quite know who I was. I knew the title, like I'm a wife. As a mom, I knew I was a mom, but who is Tam? I didn't really know that. So, one of the ways in how I recovered from it was to be able to just silence the noise and really understand, like, what what are my passions? What are my goals? What makes me happy? What gives me the most solace? And then let me go back to scripture. And does that align to all of the things that I'm saying that align with who I am? So if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm like 39. I didn't really identify with who I was until I turned 30. When I turned 30, like the light switch came on and I really got a grasp of like, okay, well, I'm a child of God. And all right, what does that mean? Let's unpack what does that mean? Like, all right, I'm a woman, what does that mean? What does a woman do? What does a woman show up as? All right, I'm a mom. So I'm different things, but the very first loss for me was definitely myself. And I kick myself in the butt often because I'm just like, if only you knew yourself a lot faster, a lot quicker, you wouldn't have allowed certain things to happen in your life if you understood your own identity. So that was my first loss, Tim. Just me and rediscovering who I am.
So let me ask you this, and thank you for being transparent about that. And I want you to take that transparency a little bit farther if you're able.
Okay.
Um, because you lost yourself at a younger age because you struggle with identity and struggle with just trying to fit in and feel like you belong. What were some things that you did that made you say, I lost myself? What are
Mhm.
some things that you were recognizing within your character that you said, hey, I'm really not who I am, how I was raised, or who God says that I am? What are some things that you can kind of look back on and say, yeah, I definitely was in a dark place at that time?
Mhm. I think for me is that prior to maybe a couple years ago, I was always the one that was silent. Like I never cared about speaking. I know we do this podcast, but I never cared about being in the limelight. I never cared about being up front. And the deficit of that and the detriment of that is that you own everything that people say about you when you don't speak up for yourself. And when you don't speak up for yourself, you start to believe what people are saying about you, or the the silence is deafening. So it got to a place where I got tired of people speaking about me, saying that they know me when I didn't even know myself. So I had to get tired of everybody else having an opinion of me or a voice for me. And I had to get out of my own way. And a lot of that was my own shyness. A lot of that was fear, just fear of me still discovering who I am in a way, right? And still feel like, well, okay, I can say I'm this, but am I really? Am I really that? Am I really beautiful? Am I really smart? Am I really this version of myself that I want to be, that I aspire to be? And because I'm not there yet, can I say that I'm that? Can I show up as that? So a lot of it was that. Um, but ultimately, Tim, for me, it was just like getting out of my own way and relinquishing fear. Fear had a hold of me. And you know, when you are operating from a place of fear, it's nothing godly about that. And it's nothing fruitful about it. Everything about it is a dead space. So I just got tired of being in a dead space and I wanted to evolve, I wanted to grow, and I wanted to be. something other than what people said I was, because that was not me.
Wow. That's amazing. And I mean, it's amazing how you have just grown in your 30s, being going from 30 to now 39, and saying, hey, I didn't discover myself well until my 30s. But you also said something that really hit home, and you talked about fear. Fear is crippling, y'all. If you hear anything from Tam's story on how she lost herself, fear was probably at the top of the list. And so we got to be mindful of how fear will cripple us, and how the opposite of fear is faith. It's the total opposite. And once she started living in her faith, living in her truth, then God started to show you it. Correct me if I'm wrong. God started to show you your identity in Him.
Right, right.
And so that's what we got to do. We got to take those steps, live a life of faith and not a life of fear. Excuse me. We can't do that. So we need to live a life of faith, and Tam is a shining example of that. So shout out to you, Tam, big time.
Appreciate that.
What we got next on the docket?
Listen. So the next conversation is the danger of not accepting your season. Have you ever been in a season too long, or not accepted a season that you were in? What do you think about this, Tim?
The danger of not accepting your season. Well, there have been times in my life I've been disobedient when I know that God has called me to do something, but I chose to do something else. That's littered all through my life up until this point. I didn't discover my purpose until I was 34, 30, what am I? 34 years old, 33 years old. I didn't recognize my purpose or start to live in it until I was about 34 years old. And I couldn't have lived in my purpose at that time. I wasn't accepting where God wanted me to be in that season. There were plenty of times where I could have been the man that He called me to be, but because of distractions and because of things in life happening around me, I wasn't accepting of that. God made it plain and simple. He, like, where my gifts were. My gifts lie in exhortation. It lies in encouragement. It lies in to blessing others by giving them hope and just being here, And I didn't operate in that for a very long time until I started to get right with God. Once I started to get right with Him, then it became much easier to accept that this is where He needed me to be. This is where He wanted me to be, because God's purpose is gonna play out no matter what, right? But I had to be obedient, and I started to be obedient about 4 years ago, and it's been great to where God has redeemed me, where I lost so much. And that can happen too when you don't accept your season. Obedience is always better than sacrifice. You're going to sacrifice a lot when you don't accept your season. And that's what I have recognized too. I've had God take away some things, a lot of things, but He's also redeemed me once I started to be obedient. So I would just definitely urge you guys to definitely be obedient and speak to you, listen.
I agree with you. I feel like there are a couple seasons that we don't talk about enough, especially like if you're in the church. I feel like the only season they talk about is just like your blessing, the blessing season. So we all live in this space where we're anticipating God is about to do something great, but we don't often talk about like the variances of our seasons, right? So not only do we have blessing seasons where things are on a high, but we also have dry seasons, right? We also have waiting seasons. We have our grinding seasons. We have our test and trial seasons. And if you miss the mark on any of that, you're going to war against the season that God has you in. And a lot of us, when we are in a season of waiting, We feel like we're praying for God to do this major move in our life, and God is like, no, I don't need for you to do any of that. I just need for you to wait. And you're like, well, God, I'm trying to grind. God, I want to make $1 million this year. Like, which, like, God is not listening to my prayers, and God is like, no, I just need for you to wait in this season, because if you grind right now, you're not going to have the ability or the stamina to do what I need you to do in your next season. So it's almost like we pressure God for seasons when we don't actually understand his hand and what he's doing behind the veil. So, in terms of like the danger of not accepting your season, I would implore anybody who's listening to the sound of my voice to just accept where you are. There are seasons when you need to hold on. There are seasons when you need to let go. There's seasons when you need to rest. There are seasons where you have trials and tribulations where you're going to have to go through some things and you need to be on your face praying or fasting for strength. And then there are seasons where God is going to bless you and it's just going to feel like everything that you do turns into gold. But you need to be willing to accept every season. And when you're in that season, I need for you to be present because God has you in that season, in that specific time and place for a reason. And when you do not do that, you will miss the next season of your life. Because if God needed you to rest in this season, but your arms are too weak to carry all of the blessings that He had for you because you were too busy trying to grind in the season of rest, that's on you. So there's so much danger and just not accepting it and warring against the season that God has you in. And I want to say that because I've done that. I've warred against God. Like, God, everything is happening to all of these other people and everybody's getting blessed around me. And I feel like my life isn't moving. I feel like you have me in a holding pattern. And then there comes things and opportunities and people are wanting to connect with me and I'm too tired because I was grinding in the season that he should have had I should have been resting in. So there's so much danger, of not accepting the season that you're in. So I just want to give warning for you guys just to stay present in the moment and don't war against where God has you.
Yeah. You speaking some true gems tonight, Tam. I mean, and it's real too. I like how sometimes we forget that God has us in different types of seasons. And when we're in the winning season, we don't question God. Oh, why are we winning? We don't question God while we're winning. We take the win and we keep moving and we start to sometimes expect the next win. That's what we end up doing. For losses, on the other hand, or lessons, as we like to say, that's when we want to question God. Why me? Why me? Woe is me. Why is all of this happening? It's overwhelming. It's stressful. And don't get it twisted. We're human. We're gonna feel that. We're gonna feel the emotions and feel the stress, but we still have to stay even keel in the moments where we feel weak, where we feel attacked, when that's just our season, and it's something that God is trying to open our eyes to in that season as well. In the winning season is, God, I know it's not going to be like this forever. So let me enjoy this season, but also let me get something in this winning season too, that'll also hold me for when the dark times come. So even we have to be grateful and we have to stay humble in those moments too. So I really love how you touched on that as well, that, if sometimes everybody's being blessed around us, but we not taking care of ourselves and resting and stuff. I mean, that's a word. I mean, I really captured a lot from that because, I know that's kind of the season that I'm in. So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, we all experience it. I wish we talked about it more in the church, but thankful for the Back Pew Podcast because we gonna talk we gonna talk about it. All right, let's get to the next topic. If you
Let's
ready
get
for
with
it.
some. What are we talking about
Sure.
next?
I thought we were talking. Are we talking about Dr. Umar? Or are we talking about the lady in the casino?
We're gonna talk about the casino lady. Let's talk about the casino lady.
All right, guys, I'm gonna set this up real nice. Just because this lady said she ain't doing all of that. Okay, what exactly is she not doing? Well, let's find out. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so the mister wanted me to come and meet him real quick. And I'm like, so not a date. All right, we can meet at the casino. Baby, this is it. Some dirty ass Uggs. My hair not done. My nails not done. I'm not getting cute. I'm not getting pretty. I'm not doing this for y'all no more. Y'all don't want to pay for a date. I'm not wasting my NARS makeup. I pay too much money to be cute for you to want to just not. No date, no cuteness. This is. How you doing? Am I by myself with this or what? Because he wanted to meet me after church, and I went to church. I came home, makeup off, and that's it. Because I didn't even do my nails this week. The feet is done. My feet is cute, but I didn't feel like doing my nails. This is gonna be it. But now on, I'm not getting cute for these men no more.
All right, guys, let's talk about this because we are in a generation. They don't want to actually take you out to fancy dinners and dates. We talked about this, Tim, and what is appropriate for the first meetup. So this young lady, or I don't know what age she is, but this young lady saying, all right, well, since y'all don't want to do the dates, let's meet me at the casino and don't worry about it because I'm not putting on no makeup. You ain't got to worry about me doing my. Let's fast forward. You're gonna get to see the real me. This is what you're gonna get. Now, is this appropriate, Tim? What would you do if a woman says she gonna do that?
Woo! Can we talk about how this lady looked for a minute?
She could at least did her hair. Like, she said she went to church like that.
Nah, this is the thing. She didn't go to church like that.
She said, I went to church. I came home, took my makeup off. So you went to church with your hair like that?
I don't even think she went to church with her hair. She had a wig on. Let's just assume she had a wig. Okay. Let's assume this lady had a wig and she decided to snatch her wig off for this date because she's tired of men not showing up, not wanting to pay. They only want to take you to the Cheesecake Factory nowadays. Oops, I forgot. We left that in 2023. We're going to keep 2024 on the docket. So let me get this straight. You decide to walk out the house looking like that. She don't look like she going out on a date. She look like she about to be in a street fight. Just give her some Vaseline and she good to go. I'm telling you, that would be one I ain't messing with because she look like she ready to be in a street fight. But having said all of that, first impressions still mean everything. They still mean everything. Like the fact that your dating experience has been so poor that you decide to change up the strategy and say, oh, I'm just coming as I am. You still gonna have to show up decent, ma'am. I get what you saying that I get that you want to come being authentic, but you still gotta at least do something with your hair at the very least. That's my opinion. Miss Allie, hello.
Get a room.
I'll see you in the bedroom.
Every week I gotta go through this.
My beautiful wife says I'm conflicted.
Hey, Allie girl.
I agree. I agree with not doing anything extra, but she didn't do anything at all. Exactly that part. Hey, baby. But no, you making it a big deal, but she didn't say hey to you. But
okay, so here's the thing. I took my daughter to go get her nails done. We got our nails done this past weekend. $340. Two young ladies, $340 just to get our nails and toes done. Okay. That doesn't include the makeup. That doesn't include a nice outfit. So, I mean, there's a piece of me that agrees with what this young lady is saying because it is very expensive to show up and present ourselves in a way where we look like arm candy. So I agree with her, but at the same time, she could have at least slicked her hair back or shine. My ex used to say dippity doo. You put a little dippity doo on the edges. Okay. Some little swoop, swirl by a bang, a bayang, or something. She could have did something like that to at least look presentable. Okay, that's one thing in looking going over the top for a date. Y'all know there's a difference with what we look like when we go on a date versus when we just going out, right? You're gonna be
Right.
presentable when you go to. I mean, I'm presentable when I go to Walmart because ain't no telling who you see in there, right?
Exactly.
But
That's
I'm
what
not
I was
wearing
raised to
clothes.
do.
She could have just put her regular clothes. And listen, when I go to the casino, especially if you go to Vegas, people be in there sharp. They got their best, they got their casket dresses and suits on. So I'm always intimidated. I'm like, nah, I can't wear that at the casino. I can't wear that. I gotta dress up, gotta put my heels on. So the fact that she went in there like she was at Shreveport and crochet to Shreveport. I
To the
I
viewers and
believe she
listeners,
had house shoes on. She looked like she would have had some house shoes on. With how
to
she
the
looked.
viewers and listeners, Shreveport has like casinos. Shreveport, Louisiana, as so that's all you need. That's all you need to hear.
Listen,
It ain't Vegas. It's Shreveport.
it's Shreveport. It's Shreveport. She could have did a little bit better. So I do not, if you asking me, I get what she's saying. Yes, if you don't want to do all of that for a date and you just want them to meet you in the casino, cool, but at least look presentable. Look like you know how you would normally look. And if you don't normally look presentable, then I don't know what to tell you, Tim. I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you either. Shanika was good, sis. Shanika even says, I don't agree with her attire, but we is tired.
You feel
LOL.
me?
I'm sure she meant we's tired. Y'all
Right.
tired of us fellas taking advantage of y'all on these dates so bad.
It's not fair. Let me be honest. Guys, y'all don't have to do much. Y'all just throw on some slacks and a shirt. Y'all call it a day. Go get a $20 haircut. I don't know how much haircuts cost, but
20. Now listen, 20, you do a $20 haircut, you might as well cut your own hair these days.
they don't do
Because
$20 haircuts no more.
maybe for kids. And
How
even
much is your
kids is
haircut?
like 30, 35, $40 these days. No, we talking like $60 for a haircut.
What?
And you got a son, so you should know.
Well, you know, I got family that cut hair. We over here bartering.
Y'all over there bartering, and I'm over here spending $60 a haircut.
That's bananas. So your $60 times 7 sometimes. Okay, what women we get for our hair done, getting times 3 to 7. Okay. So we're spending tremendously a lot more than the fellas when it comes to dating. So at the very least, we expect the nice dinner. And it's not just because we want the guy to spend all his money. It's just like it costs for us to show up a certain way. And I get it, but for her, I don't have no word. I can't agree with what she did at all.
So may I say something about this?
Go ahead, brother.
So I would tend to think women like you, women like Shanika, women like Allie, y'all typically, I would say y'all are like the general population, okay? Most like y'all, like most women just like a nice evening out, love to, have a reason to dress up, to put makeup on, to get your hair done, to get your nails done, and to be taken somewhere nice.
Mm-hmm.
Totally understandable. Totally fair. But then you also have some other women out there who they get a date opportunity. That is their chance to take advantage of that man. When 9 times out of 10, are they taking themselves there? Are they able to afford that same restaurant themselves? And then they end up taking it way left that they, based on a lack of etiquette. There still should be some etiquette when it comes to dating.
I agree. I saw a post the other day. It was a woman and she wasn't black. And she was like, I go out to eat. I go on a date every single day. And I've saved this much on my grocery bill because I've allowed myself to go on this many dates. I get it. There's some women out there like that, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about the ones who are out here genuinely interested in dating and that are looking the part. And then we, or they, because I don't, but they connect with, these guys who are not interested in taking them out on a nice dinner date. So I think either A, women, maybe we do need to adjust how we present ourselves. You need, and also ask, hey, where are you taking me? Are we going to the Applebee's or we going to Steak 48? Or where are we going? Maybe you need to ask those kinds of questions. So you need, whether you need to dress all the way up or just, not use your MAC products or whatever products that you use for your makeup. So it may be on us too to ask more questions, but it's on the guy that you choose. You know what kind of guy you're talking to. You're gonna know that prior to going to that date. Like he's not gonna surprise you with tea and ice cream. You know if he wants to court you appropriately and wants to do what you like to do. I see some comments coming through. What's the comment saying?
Let's see. Allie says, on the flip side, the guy gets to see her at her worst. He knows exactly what he's getting. Makeup be doing tricks on people's faces. Now that's true. Tim loves when I look homeless. LOL. Actually, I do.
So Allie showed up like that. You be fine.
If Allie showed up like how that lady showed up?
Yeah. Have hair not done. Uggs or flip-flops. Talking about this is me. You good?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
Nah, brother. Get it back in, brother.
You ain't get me sleeping on no couch. I'm bad.
You're gonna be like, babe, what do you be saying, baby? Da 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 da.
Wait a minute. Uh-oh.
He's gonna love you.
Yes, I would date you still. This is not about me. Okay, Shanika. Next. Shanika. All right. Imagine buying an outfit, fix your hair and makeup, and this man has no personality. Brother, it's hard out here for us. Between the easy ones to the unrealistic expectations, we doomed. Sis, I feel your pain.
I
feel your pain.
No personality people out here.
No personality. Oof. Just imagine doing all of that. You done got cute. You done got your makeup on, your nails done, your toes done, everything done, ready to go. The next thing you know, you get in and you got this dry dude having dry conversation. Don't know what to say. Don't know what to say on the date. Don't know what to ask. He just dry. He just here.
Yeah.
Then it make you really question what his true intentions were, right?
I don't know. So I went out on a date with this guy who had zero personality, Tim. I met him while I was out on another date, right? I went to the okay. It's not what it sounded like, but
yeah, because this is hold on.
I know we gonna fast forward through that part. So I was on this other date, but I got there first, right? So I get there, I'm looking around for my date. He's not there. I'm texting him. I'm like, I'm here. He's like, okay, I'll be there in probably like 10 minutes. As I'm texting, the other guy comes up. He's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, hey, hey. So Tim, don't do that. I'm single, sir.
Hey,
so we exchanged numbers, and I'm like, skedaddle, because my date's coming. That's what I'm thinking in my mind, right? So he texts me immediately. He's like, I would love to take you out on a date. I'm like, cool. In my mind, I'm like, if this date doesn't go well, then all right, I got to back up. So that date did not go well, right? Mm-hmm. He texts me. I'm like, cool. He doesn't call. He just like, he sets the date, dinner, everything. I don't have to worry about anything. I didn't ask any questions. I'm just like, I'm going to get to know him on this date. It's going to be great. I get there. I don't know how old this man is. I don't know where he lives. I don't know if he's been to jail or not. I don't know nothing about this man. So I get there and I'm like, okay, I'll know your name. So I'm like, so how old are you? He's like, you don't need to know that.
Oh,
I'm
this is
like,
the second date, right?
this is the guy that I met at the first date by happenstance. He's like, you don't need to know that. I'm like, okay. I was like, do you live close? You don't need to know that either. So this whole time I'm on this date and this guy does not want to answer any questions. So I'm just sitting there like, let me call my Uber real quick because I'm not going to be sitting here with this dude not answering any of my questions. Yeah, it was the worst. And I had just bought a cute dress. I got, ladies, y'all know when y'all get a really cute dress and you walk in and everybody's complimenting you and you like, oh, that dress is cool. You're like, thank you. Thank you. It was one of those dress, very expensive. I was very excited about this date. And I get there and he was Bill Nye the Science Guy. Didn't want to answer any of my questions. I was so upset. I wasted so much money. So when he said I was like, does he work for the CIA or like what is this? I'm very confused. So yeah, I'm gonna be like her. So y'all see me with my hair looking crazy. That's why, because y'all some weirdos. Y'all don't want to take us out on a date, and then y'all are zero personality. Don't want to answer any questions. It was the weirdest thing. I got up and left. I didn't order any food. He ordered food. He was just like, he's like, order something. I said, no, I think I'm gonna go. This is a weird date.
I don't.
And he's like, okay. I was like, let me get out of here. After he
I
put
don't
me in
blame
his
you
truck.
one bit. We got a couple of comments here, so I'm gonna definitely we're gonna try to get to this. So Latoya, what's good, sis? We see you put this up. Yeah, that's facts. And then she probably was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like she was like shocked at like really this is what's really going down. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then I mean seriously. And then Allie says it's giving serial killer vibes. Yes.
He want me to know nothing. There was no way I could identify him. Okay.
No way. He literally took you away from another guy from a date.
He did.
So that he could. We don't know what he would have done, but we're so glad that you're still with us. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank God for Uber.
Renardo, what's up, B? Did you get up and leave? He says, which you answered that by saying you did get up and leave.
I made it even more awkward because I was just like, I don't need nobody to call and say emergency. I was just like, okay, I'm about to go. He's like, you leaving? I was like, yeah, this is very weird.
You told him it was weird right in front of him?
I did. I was like, the next time you have a date, maybe you should learn how to like talk. Like it should go that. But you don't want to answer
different from what it is. That's for sure.
I made it very awkward because it was awkward for me. Like you just not going. It was the worst. Yeah, it's some weirdos out here, y'all.
Yeah, super weird. Just says,
my husband just needs to come find me. That's the problem. Wherever, husband, if you're watching, don't slide in my DMs because I don't check those. But just pray about it, and hopefully we find each other.
Hopefully you will find each other. But
amen.
Hey, we'll see. Just no more creep vibes. That's for sure. Ali said he went home and cried.
Well, he should. Wasting my time.
You leaving?
He looked fine. When I turned back, he had his meal. He was happy. He was fine. Trust me, I was the only one upset.
I'm glad you made it out in one piece.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so what we got next, sis?
All right, we got your topic, Dr. Umar. We got. Was there one last comment before?
Oh, let's see.
That's what I'm looking for. Hubby, where you? Listen, we need a hotline for the husbands. Where they at?
Where they at?
Yeah.
Brothers, if you watching, you got some sisters, some single sisters on here that are watching, they waiting, they praying, and they hoping and wishing for y'all to step up. Want it. They ready for you to come take that spot.
We out here sitting and ready.
Come on, y'all. We courting in 2024, okay?
Pray for us. All right. Let's get into this Dr. Umar situation. It's your topic.
So Dr. Umar came out and he pretty much said that if you are emotionally, if you've dealt with like any type of emotional trauma, you're promiscuous. You're sexually promiscuous. So just listen to this brother and hear what Dr. Umar had to say. Now, I know sometimes you got to take him with a grain of salt, but have a listen to what he said.
Emotionally damaged people are always sexually promiscuous. Let me say this again. If you are traumatized, if you are emotionally damaged, you are promiscuous. And do you want to know why?
Why is that?
Emotionally traumatized people require constant validation from others. You married to a woman who's been traumatized, abuse, abandonment, whatever. When you're not around her for too many days, she has to entertain another man because her trauma dictates constant validation. And constant validation means I must have a man in my personal space. You ever date a woman who was crazy about you? She absolutely loved you, so you thought. It was really addiction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you finally let her go, when you finally got her to stop stalking you, she ended up with another man like that. And your ego took a hit. You said, wait a minute. I know that woman was crazy about me. Climbed in my window, came to my... You understand? She was... She was crazy about your presence in her life. And the minute you distance yourself from her life, she found a replacement without a problem. Emotionally damaged people are promiscuous because they cannot go without constant validation.
They need that validation.
They need it. Most of our promiscuous women are damaged women. They're not having sex because they love having sex. They're having sex because they have...
Wanted to hear the rest of that. So what say you, Tam? I'm going to kick it off with you.
First and foremost, I completely agree with what he said. I don't like the fact that he ended on promiscuous women because we already know, because it's mostly males that have this issue, right?
Yeah.
That since the beginning of time, it is the males that are very much promiscuous and don't have a problem with saying that you guys are. So I think what he said is very telling. And what I say is that you can identify whether or not you have these issues on whether or not you are comfortable with being alone with yourself. If you are not comfortable being alone with yourself and you feel like you always got to be connected to somebody, it doesn't matter if it's just sexual. It could be emotional. It could be whatever. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what he's saying. I think all promiscuous people in general, whatever gender you are, have some deeper underlying issues. And I know there's some people out there saying, I just love sex. I don't have any issues. It's just this, it's just that. People may, but like I said earlier, it doesn't matter whatever your vice is, whatever your thing is, good or bad, it's derived from something from your childhood, something repetitively that's happened in your life is derived from something. And when it comes from a sexual nature, there's some deeper issues because sex is really heavy. It's deeper than what people try to make believe that it's not. So I completely agree with what he got to say. What you think, Tim?
He made a lot of good points. I love, first of all, he used the example of women, but he did start off by saying that emotionally damaged people. So that means men and women, right? What is the number one thing that we use or that we see that could look the same? Think about this question. There's two things that typically go hand in hand that may look the same, that we mistake for something, and that's love and sex. They look the same. We feel a lot of times if we have love, the sex will follow, right? That's how ideally we should live. But because of our emotional damage, because I'm in that boat too. I'm in this boat too. When you talk about emotional damage, a lot of times we try to find love in all the wrong places when you're emotionally damaged. And the number one place we will try to find that love is through sex, is through that deep connection that you've mentioned. That's where we try to find it. And just like I see the comments coming in, like Latoya said, I think it's both. It's not just women. That's absolutely true. But at the same time, we got to be very careful, and we got to make sure God fills those voids before we get into some type of relationship with people, because then that's where a lot of disconnect, confusion comes in, where that person feels like, even when it comes to like sexual promiscuity, when you get in a relationship with somebody you so damaged, think about now they got to keep up with whatever type of expectation that you need in order to appease you or make you happy. And so we got to be careful as emotionally damaged people to heal first. Heal, know your identity, know who you are in Christ and with yourself, and allow God to heal you from within on those things. And that's a process that may take years of pre-wiring, of being changed and transformed. You have to go through that process in order to do that. So I think that he said a lot of good things, a lot of validity to what he said, and it's a process.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think for the most part, it's that process. It's a void, and then also sometimes it's associated to a trauma, right? A feeling that you may have had, and you're trying to match that high that you probably shouldn't even have, right? It's like a drug. And that's what it becomes, especially when it comes to sex. Sex can be a drug. Give me your drug of choice. And a lot of people don't see it that way. But there's a such thing as being a sex addict, right? And people don't say that anymore, right? I've not heard the term sex addict in quite some time. But back in the day, they talked about, okay, yeah, I might be addicted to sex, but nobody frowns on anybody being addicted to sex in this generation. It's applauded. So oftentimes that particular issue goes overlooked. But if we're really taking a serious look at this thing, we have to get to the heart of, like Latoya was saying, like she was saying that's why your heart and your vaginal cavity are two different places, because it's two different things, and we're trying to fill one thing with another thing, and it's never going to work. So no matter how much sex you have, you're still going to have that void. So
I'm gonna take it a step further and just be transparent, because this is the Back Pew Podcast, right? We could be transparent here, right? Is this a safe space?
It's a safe space.
It's a safe space. I had never heard of the term sex addict until 2018, when I actually went to a sex addiction anonymous class. I never heard about that, but I knew that I had some sexual traumas and some things and some voids that really needed to be addressed. And so you're right. It's frowned upon in our generation because everything is so sexualized, over sexualized, that if you go away from the norm of that type of mentality, you're shunned upon, you're shamed on, people make you feel embarrassed, like you got this huge problem. But it's not just the sex that you can be addicted to, it's the love aspect too. It could just be people can be addicts of love. They could just love, but don't know how to really deal with the emotion of it. They don't know how to navigate and go through life without it, without feeling some kind of connection with someone or something. So there's those things inside of us that need to get addressed. Nothing to be ashamed about. It's just you address it, you keep it moving, and you work through it and allow God to change you from within, and it happens. And I'm a living testimony of someone who's been in those classes, who learned a lot. And then when I would be blessed just by hearing some of these other men's stories and saying, wow, I'm not alone. And so then it finally put me in a place of, wow, I'm not alone. So somebody else is going through these things with me. Ooh, okay. So it makes life worth living, knowing that you can do life with people and you're not struggling alone, So yeah, it's a blessing.
That's good. You just helped somebody right there.
Hey, that's what it's about.
I
That is
love
what it's. Thanks, sis. All right, what we got next? What's your topic next?
Are we talking about the Emmys next?
Is it the Emmys? Are we talking about the Emmys? We got we got another comment coming through real quick. Tim Brandon, what's up, Tim?
Hey,
Tim
Tim.
says, I'm a love addict and also a disciplinarian. What say
Break that
you
down
on-
for me in the comments, Tim.
Yeah, break that down, please. You're a love addict and also a disciplinarian. So
What does that mean?
sounds like no disrespect. Isn't that kind of a contradiction of the two?
What does it mean, Tim?
Yeah, let us know. No, we appreciate you comment, man. We definitely want to hear what that's about for sure. But yeah, we're going to talk about the Emmys now. The Emmys was, I believe, last night, and there were some great winners. Shout out to all the winners, and it was definitely great. But of course, we have to honor our great show and great from back in the 90s. We got to honor Martin. We got to honor it. And so we got these clips of them being at the Emmys. And what we would like y'all to do is drop in the chat. What's your favorite Martin episode? What is your favorite Martin episode? Because you got to have one. If you watch Martin and you don't have an episode, we got problems, okay? You could just jump off the back pew right now. We got problems, all right? So
don't go nowhere, brother. We just got them.
I'm not even gonna tell y'all mine yet, but just drop it in the chat. But we got these clips for you. Check it out. Oh man,
I love it.
I love it too. So, what say you, Tam? What was your favorite Martin episode growing up?
My favorite. It's so many because I hate that you making me choose. So I'm gonna give you a couple.
You gotta choose. You gotta
no. There's no way you can choose one episode of my end. There's no way, Tim.
All right, what you got?
All right. So my number one episode is gonna be the plumber episode when they thought the plumber was dead.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first one, and then the
taking
second
taking a plunger on the man's stomach.
Yeah. They done did a whole funeral for the dude.
Clear. Okay.
Okay, and then the second one was when Martin had to go renew his driver's license at the DMV. He had to start from scratch. Listen, there's so many classics on Martin, but those two are like my favorite. And if I were to do the third one, is when they had to go to court, and it was the GTD one. Got the draws.
GTD got the draws. That's right. Okay.
All right, what you got? What you got?
All right. So my all-time favorite, New Jack City. When he had the dog. Remember when somebody stole his CD player? He thought somebody stole a CD player, so he had everybody at the table from Gina, Tommy, Pam, Cole, and they all wearing black, and he just got the dog. He brought the dog out, and he was like, ain't nobody gonna speak up. He died laughing. I still love that episode. And my
animal.
he just was different. And then my second favorite one of all time had to the black dog. My second favorite one, probably people wouldn't even think that this is it, but the one with Miss Trinidad. Remember that? The one with Miss Trinidad, where Miss his third grade teacher was trying to hit him, and Gina was like, "Yo," she was ready. So that was like one of my favorites too. But we got a whole bunch.
You know what I thought she was gonna say? I thought she was gonna say when they went out of town, and he's like, "That ain't no dang puppy." That one.
When he went out of town, he was like, "That ain't no puppy."
It's so many good ones. The "Don't you know no good." That one. Come on, man. They should have got an Emmy. I don't understand. They should have got an Emmy. They did some wrong. I see the chats going crazy. But yeah, somebody said the
Toya says all of them. She said, I was going to say it has to do with control. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. The one where wait a minute. Okay. The one where
Cereal
the
box.
vacation in the back of the cereal box. Yep. Okay. Okay. When Jerome first came on the scene, the Savoy Club.
Yeah.
The Savoy Club. Yeah, that was the one where Martin and Gina broke up and briefly. And that's when the chick from what's her name? Saved by the Bell was on. I remember that episode.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. No food or water from Sun. That's Tim's response from what he does. He fasts for 40 days. Remember what he said? Yeah, that's dope. Love it, Tim. Love it. Tim Brandon, praise God for. Oh yeah. Gina thick ass lost some weight too because she was not cute in that cat suit looking like you ain't gotta do Gigi like that. Listen, Gigi/George Lopez. Because she was looking like George Lopez on that Lifetime movie. I promise you she was.
Oh my God.
He's cracked up laughing. DP.
Dead plumber.
Dead plumber. Oh, man. Y'all funny, man. Y'all are funny.
Y'all funny in the comments. Bernardo said the players ball. I don't want to miss that.
Players ball.
Yeah, I remember that episode. From the Himalayas.
My favorite is episode when they sing together. It was fire, man. Y'all funny, man. Y'all good.
So many classes. I still pass the P's like we used to do. I still do that stuff. Man.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we got some good ones. Y'all got some real good ones in here, man. We appreciate that because it just took us back. Nostalgia. It took us back to just some good times from 92 to 97. Those were just some good times, man, when we could just turn on Fox and see Martin show up. You know, season 5 was a dud just because Gina and Martin were already doing everything separate. So it was kind of lame at that point, but even still. But we got a couple more comments to get to. My wife says, what do you consume for nutrients and strength?
She's talking to Tim? Or is she talking to us? I don't know.
Might want to drop that more in the comments, baby.
Yeah. Tim Brandon. Are you talking to Tim Brandon?
Oh, that might be. Oh, yeah. That might be her talking to Tim Brandon. Yeah.
We said no food and water from sun up to sundown for 40 days, which is great. So Tim and I, we're both doing a fast right now. So we're fasting different things and we don't discuss what we're fasting, but I completely agree. Like when it comes to, we talked about this a little bit last week, but when it comes to like fasting and doing that, it's just really to get your flesh under subjection to your spirit. So Tim, thank you so much. Tim Brandon, thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that too, baby. Appreciate that. She said, y'all saw Cole. Yes, with the Reynolds.
I love that.
We gotta get that hat wherever that hat is sold. That's my homework. I gotta find out what that is.
Yeah.
All right. So we on final thoughts. What's your final thoughts tonight, Tam?
Listen, where do we start? Let's start with the first loss. Anybody watching this, it doesn't matter what you lost, what you think you lost. You didn't lose yourself. You just have to find you. You just have to rediscover you. Life is a part of loss. And as much as we hate that, I am hopeful that you guys will continually rediscover who you are through whatever loss, whether it be you lost somebody you love, whether it be you lost yourself, whether it be you lost your job. We seek out our identity for every time we lose something, but I hope in the midst of that you'll continue to rediscover who you are for that particular season that you're in. The danger of not accepting your season, guys, it's so imperative that you do not war against the season that you're in, that you embrace exactly where you are, because if you do not embrace exactly where you are, you're going to miss something. And I don't want you to miss something. 2024, we could talk about 2024 being a year of prosperity, but it may not be that. It might just be a year of rest for you, right? Or it might be a year of trials and tribulations to give you endurance and strength for you to overcome something that you've been struggling with. I don't know what your season is, but I just hope that you accept the season you're in. You do it with a smile on your face and know that whatever season you're in today is not going to be your tomorrow. Just whatever it feels like today. If it don't feel good, guess what? It's not going to always feel that way. Your tomorrow is going to get better. My dad always tell me life is full of roller coasters. So when you're high, enjoy the high, but also brace yourself for the lows. Okay? All right. What else did we talk about, Tim? We talked about Dr. Umar. We talked about Dr. Umar and worldwide promiscuous activities that are going on rampantly in this world today. Guys, I love to say keep your legs closed. All right, just keep your legs closed. Go to therapy and talk to somebody. I think one of the reasons why I love the Back Pew is that we talk about the stuff that sometimes the church is a little bit ashamed to talk about. We know we all have these sexual desires, but there's something that's driving that, right? We all listen, sex is beautiful when it's biblical, but when it's outside of that, let's untap and uncover, what's driving that sexual behavior. Is it a void? Like Tim said, are you lacking something, or are you trying to replace that because you don't have love, the love that you need? And the love that you need could very well just be God, right? So let's unpack and understand what that's talking about. And for the Martin situation, they deserve an Emmy. I don't even understand. They did a whole setup of the Martin show, had them talk about the fact that they didn't get an Emmy. I would have loved for them to surprise them with an Emmy. They deserved it. It's crazy to me that how many years has it been since a Black woman had an Emmy? I forgot whatever show. Um, the show the young lady won the Emmy on. I have no idea. I don't watch the show, but there was another Black woman that won.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember her name, but it was Abbott Elementary.
Yeah, the young lady from Abbott Elementary. They said the last time they gave a Black woman an Emmy was the Jeffersons.
Wow.
That's laughable to me. So, as much as we love Martin and we can name all of these things, they gotta do Black people better. Like, what the heck is going on? I'm gonna end it on that because I don't want to get into a rant. But what you got, Tim?
Latoya, thank you for sharing that fact. She is the first
1981.
American woman to receive an Emmy since 1981. So
Crazy.
thank you. That is super crazy. Just my final thoughts. Remembering my loss, remembering my first loss, it has helped me to be resilient in life. Knowing that first, actually, I started off lost too. And pretty much just understanding that I'm a resilient person because of the loss that I've suffered. So I think we all can take lessons in our loss and it helps us to build up to be better people, but we got to see it that way. So our mindset has to be not a what was me thing. Whenever we suffer loss, it's more of what is the lesson that I need to learn? What is God trying to tell me through this loss? How can I get better through this loss? And those are hard things to ask yourself, or those are hard things to ask God, but it's necessary to do. The danger of not accepting a season. One thing I thought about as you were closing, Tam, was about social media. And a lot of times we don't accept our season because we busy scrolling and we seeing, 2024 is the year of us all getting rich. And you said it may not be the year that everybody is. It's the year of the get back and the take back. And this is our year. It might not be a year, but don't go ahead and believe in it just because you're scrolling on social media. This might be your season of rest after whatever you've been through in 2023. We don't know. But I would urge you, please don't just read something on social media and say, that's just going to happen for me too. Know what you do is you seek guidance and you seek direction from God and ask him what I need to do, how I need to consume my time, how I need to focus on myself, how can he fill in those voids. So that's a huge danger too. Social media. If you continue to just look at social media, it could be challenging too. Dr. Umar, he spit facts on this one. He definitely spoke some facts about emotionally damaged people. We need to definitely look at where the void could be. So I agree with everything you said on that, Tam. So that was really, really on point. And last but not least, yes, Martin definitely deserved an Emmy back in the day, but it was just good, the nostalgia, just to see the four of them together. Shout out to Tommy, rest in peace. We really miss you, man. But that show is just one for the ages. And so it was good just to hear y'all perspectives on what y'all favorite episodes were. And it just kind of brought it all together. So good nostalgia moment for sure.
That's all we got?
That's it. We in that thing tonight.
All right, guys. We want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Back Pew, where we talk about everything from a Christian lens, including ratchetness.
Yeah.
We'll be here every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you are new here, go ahead and click that like, follow, or subscribe button. We are pretty much everywhere. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. We want to thank you so much for your comments. If you are catching the replay, go ahead and type replay. And we will see you guys next week. I have no idea what we're talking about next week, but guess what? It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
It's going to be great. As always, we thank you so much. It's been a blessing rocking with y'all tonight on a Tuesday. Have a blessed night. Be safe. Be warm. God bless you. We'll be talking to you soon. Peace.
Bye.
Yo, what's going on?
The
Back Pew.
We got so much to talk about this week.
You know.
We can unpack like these conversations. You can see a pedicure.
You would do.
Depends on his feet.
That could be my own street. What's up? What's up, Tam? We in person. We not Back Pew conversations. Going on. This
The Tim and Tam talk.
He be doing this stuff all the time. New here. Go ahead and click that follow, subscribe button, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We everywhere.
Yo, we everywhere. Like literally, we everywhere.